And I'm sorry, Hasan. I'm just trying to help you learn and grow. I'm trying to teach you big words like vexatious litigant.
Yo, Legal Mindset, yo, he really trolling him, bro. I know for sure Legal Mindset had to see that H3 episode, bro. I know for sure he did, bro. Like vexatious litigant. Yeah, man, Ethan's just throwing out these frivolous lawsuits. Oh my god. Well, calm down, Hasan. You're learning the words too fast. You already know the time and I'm on, baby. You saw the title and thumbnail. Uncle Mindset posted a video about Hasan and the Orbiters, and well, it ain't looking like it's going too well for them. When is it ever? But yeah, especially with this whole lawsuit, obviously the copyright infringement, the malicious copyright infringement lawsuits against them, Casey, Tron, and Frogan, and then Hasan not doing too well on Twitch. I mean, he pulled out the line. Yeah, it ain't looking too hot on his end either. So of course, Legal Mindset gave his conjecture. We gon' be checking that boy out. Duh, I already know. Trilly talks everything. Trilly does indeed have everything every single time. We know it by now. We sure do. Let's get right into it. You already know. Shout out Legal Mindset, Uncle Mindset. We got legal troubles for Hasan and his Orbiters. Of course, you guys want to watch the OG video down in the description. You already know. First link, shirt of love with Legal Mindset. We get into this, boy. Not a second wasted, except for the seconds when I don't got my headphones on. Maybe a couple seconds wasted, but all right, let's get into it.
Let's get started here with Lawtube versus Hasan. And this is something I thought up after pretty much most of
Oh yeah, Legal Mindset did like a live with a bunch of other, you know what I'm saying, like lawyer YouTubers, you know what I'm saying, lawyer space YouTubers. Yeah, and that John, is looking mixy.
Lawtube has commented on this. Now I know there are a few members of Lawtube that have not, and I'm not gonna say that all of Lawtube agrees with me, or all of Lawtube endorses me, but enough have commented that I can say the general consensus of Lawtube.
That's literally what I was about to say, but he can probably get like a general consensus. Yeah,
Lawtube is X, right? And I think that's fair. At least of the people that consider themselves part of Lawtube as a greater thing. Not as a collective entity, but as a group of individuals that stream on legal topics. And for those that don't know what Lawtube is generally the legal streamers or the legal video makers on YouTube.
So yeah, like for instance, obviously Legal Mindset, Legal Eagle, Lust, people such as that.
Now, that can be a broader definition, that can be a more narrow definition, but generally people that are out there educating people and entertaining people related to legal topics. There are lots of different channels out there that are doing legal streaming. A lot of them focus on criminal streaming. So they'll focus on trials. They'll focus on maybe a murder case or whatever else, right? Many of them were doing the Reed trial recently. And there'll be other trials that they cover in the future. And while I will sometimes cover court cases that are of personal interest or that seem particularly spicy, I don't always do that. Many other channels do that better than indeed I do. And one of the beautiful things about Lawtube, one of the things that's really awesome, is every single lawyer within this has their own specialty. They all have their own thing that they're really good at, their thing they know a lot about.
But I say, like, within, like, obviously the legal parameters, like, for instance, some heads, obviously, like Legal Mindset was saying, some heads are more better in criminal court, other heads are better at covering copyright, other heads are better at covering defamation, things such like that. At least the way I'm interpreting, because we know Trilly ain't no lawyer, and that's for damn sure.
And that's sort of like having a law firm. At a law firm, especially a big law firm, you have different senior partners that are special at different things and that have different focuses. And that's one of the great things I find about this community is that you can turn to a person who perhaps has more niche knowledge than you in that area if it's of their area of specialty. So I think that's a pretty cool thing. It's a really cool thing.
It's like the thing I always say all the time. It's like good to see a bunch of different people's like perspectives on a thing, because a perspective or an insight that you might not have seen, someone else may have seen. So therefore, obviously, that broadens and opens up your horizons on how you're going to interpret these things. Yeah.
And one thing that's really amazing is that we can always disagree on legal stuff and still be cool with each other, which is always very
Oh boy. Can't do that in the echo chamber. You disagree, you're exiled, you're banished. We'll be seeing you later.
nice. I do enjoy that. Let's get into it. Okay, the Hasan orbital lawsuit. So this is something that's really shocking to me, and something that I was really surprised about is that there is unanimous agreement amongst lawyers. So I have not seen
It's already so bad.
a single lawyer on the internet, and I've looked over the past week, that is said, or 2 weeks actually, that is said that any of the orbiters, that's Denims, Caseytron, Frogan, even Sean the Black, even though he's not being sued. We're going to get to him. Don't worry. Oh, don't worry. We're getting to Sean the Black.
Oh, Sean the Irrelevant. Let's keep him irrelevant. He had his little bit of clout, man. He thought he was getting sued. He was going to get trolled. He should be counting his Jones, bro. I ain't going to lie, bro.
I haven't seen anybody say they're going to win on the merits. Not one person. You know how many lawyers like to disagree with each other and think they're going to win, that, we're going to argue the other side or argue, devil's advocate.
I was about to say devil advocate and things of such.
I have not seen one that's to say, nope, this is looking good for them. Now,
because it's not.
Of course, there's no guarantee, which is my
not.
second one. There's no guarantee. But Ethan Klein clearly has a legal upper hand, right? So obviously, there's never 100% shot. But
oh yeah, this was the thing I be quoting Legal Master on this all the time, because he says he be saying it and put it in like, yo, is it 100% chance that Ethan will win this lawsuit? No. And my response is always the same thing every time. What's stopping it from being a 90 to 95% chance? I ain't gonna lie, them clips, Denims, Caseytron, Frogan, it's looking bad. Like, yeah, but seriously though.
All of them has said it doesn't look good for the orbiters at the very least. And that's saying something. That's definitely saying something. Someone brought up, I think there's someone brought up someone who was defending the orbiters, but the only defense I've heard of the orbiters, and there's one, there's one minor character, and he did not actually say they were going to win on the merits, from what I heard. All he said was the system was broken, and it's a systemic problem, and it's not fair.
Shit, you could just, but can't you just argue that same thing for like just legal and court, like things in a general? Like, yo, I ain't gonna lie, the system be kind of cooked, bro. Especially again in a factor of cheese, and this is another thing they're trying to say, like, oh yeah, isn't Ethan just bullying these fucking small creators or whatever because he knows he's got mad cheese? I'm going to look you in your face and ask you, what did these small creators, Denims, Caseytron, and Frogan, do though? Tough, but yeah, the system is kind of cooked. We've seen it. If you've seen that fucking Diddy case, yeah, you know it's cooked as fuck.
Fair that people with a lot of money win. That's not saying they're going to win on the merits. So he did not say that they're going to win in court. What he said was the system's not fair. And that's just being contrarian.
I'm about to say the system, again, like acknowledge, the system is not fair, but in terms of, like, again, at least Ethan showing his merit, his proof, if you looked at, again, Smoke Before She Smoke, Nightmare on Denim Street, like, they're fucked. Like, he got them, like, damn near dead to rights, basically just dead to rights, especially with the quotes. Like, again, yo, Denims is straight up on this boy. Well, if you didn't want to watch that terrible video or support that terrible video, so you could just follow, throw a prime, throw a sub, all this, bruh. They done. It's over.
To be contrarian. And that's being emotional to be emotional. And that's not what lawyers should do. So, yeah, that's a very, it's funny, but it's not going to win in court. Right? It's not going to win in court. Okay. Damages could very well sink the creators forever. The legal funds won't help. So the legal funds are not going to really help these creators because, number one, they're probably not even enough to pay for the lawyers, and number
They're not. I ain't gonna lie. Again, Denims is what's the name? And this was like that tweet was posted like a couple of days ago. But the last time you see Denims GoFundMe, she had made $10, 10 in 12 hours. It's over.
Number two, even if they have a legal fund, and even if that funds their defense, and they lose, which they probably will,
they gotta pay Ethan's attorney fees, right?
They're going to be done. They're going to have a lot of their assets at risk for a very long time. It's not going to be good for Denims, Frogan, or Casey Tron.
Stupid actions, stupid consequences.
At all whatsoever. So I think the damages are something they should be very, very worried about. And I don't think even Daddy Hasan is going to be able to financially bail them out from how deep of a hole they're going to get into. And last, and this is a great one, Sean the Black got lucky he's a nobody. So Ethan Klein
that's accurate.
had talked about suing Sean the Black. And I had no idea who this guy was. I didn't even know what the hell happened.
Sean the Irrelevant.
Because he was accused, I guess Ethan was accused of being a misogynist, I guess.
Yeah, basically they heads were trying to say that like the whole lawsuit was sexist and Ethan was a misogynist because the only people that were being sued were women, even though again I'm gonna say that these three women most definitely in the sense committed malicious copyright infringement. But okay, sidebar, move past that. Okay, fine, Ethan's a misogynist, bet, let's add on a dude. Okay, he added on a dude, Sean the Black. Heads is pissed now. They saying he's racist. Sean not even actually getting taken serious. We just trolling him, bro. He not even actually part of the lawsuit. Get swept. But you see how like they're shifting the narrative. It's whatever fits their like narrative against Ethan, bro. It's the same John every single time. Like, bro.
Because he only sued women, so he wanted to throw Sean the Black in there. He was dead to rights in terms of what he did. I'm going to show you one, and this is just one instance in his overall reaction video where he clearly said something very incriminating. So let's leave this. Let's pull this up here.
Bro, you can't just say like, oh, everybody's loving it because you sent your audience to go like the video. And then like, for the most part, people just genuinely aren't watching the video on the main video feed. You know what I mean?
Yo, Sean, where are they watching it at?
The only people watching the video on the video feed are the people who like the video. Everybody else has decided to not give it views and watch it everywhere else. You know what I mean?
Everywhere else, specifically where though? Where were they watching it? Through who? Through what creators?
So right there, he said the magic word.
He didn't give up enough.
Words. Everybody else has decided to not give it views and watch it elsewhere. And the only reason, right, is because this guy has like 17K subs and this video got 8K views. That's nothing. That's a joke, right? He's got 17K subs. That's a nobody. That's nothing.
Hey, bruh, Trilly's a nobody. I'm going to take that stamp, though.
That's a joke. This video got 8K views. That's nothing. It's not worth Ethan Klein going after him because he's really so broke and so puny, right?
Like him basically, like him paying his attorney, his lawyers on Ethan's case, like to sit here and write up a thing for Sean, like quite literally would just be burning cheese because like you were not going to get anything out of him throughout the end of this lawsuit. Like,
so I think he just got lucky. Generally that he wasn't sued because he really wasn't worth it. And Ethan was like, look, I've already got 3 lawsuits. I'm already, paying my lawyers enough. Do I really want to pay my lawyers another, $50,000, $100,000 to go after this extra guy?
See, that's what I was saying. And it's like, again, Sean Dale relevant. No.
When he's kind of penniless, he's kind of a loser, he's kind of a nobody. Probably no. So I think that was probably the decision that came down the pike regarding Sean the Black, even though a lot of his statements just as incriminating as Denims and Frogan and Casey Tron and would put him in a similar position to those other folks. So we talked about the orbiters, right? And how they're screwed. Let's talk about Hasan again because
Mr. Piker.
I want to go over some things, and then we're also going to go over after this some defenses people brought up. So brandishing what appears to be a weapon with the intent to intimidate violates California law. And I want to reinforce that it doesn't matter whether it's an airsoft or not. So a lot of people really care about it being airsoft.
Yeah, because it's it's more or less just just perceiving it as like, yo, this is what people would perceive as a weapon, like obviously being used to threaten somebody. So regardless of if the gun is real or not, it's like, yo, it's about the intention. You're trying to instill fear into the person or whatever, trying to make them feel scared.
It doesn't matter. When you look at the California statute, which we've looked at before, but I'm going to look at it again. When you look at 653.2, which is right here, it doesn't matter what it is. If you have the intent to place another person in reasonable fear, and then you publish their image, right? Such as their digital image of that person, even a public image. This is a big deal because a lot of people, especially when we get to the next one, think it has to be a private image. No, any digital image, even a public one, even their Facebook profile, even their Instagram. When you publish that with the intent to intimidate, you violate California law. And I know that this doesn't constitute what the regular person would call doxing.
Yeah, because that was a whole thing going on, and I was talking about this when I was watching Pope Diorio, because a lot of heads were going back and forth, because with Twitch's TOS or whatever, that one screenshot, I'm pretty sure it was posted by Dan Soldman or whatever, that one screenshot, it said on the John, like, yo, even if you show like public info or whatever, it would still count as doxing. But then if you think obviously on a base level, yo, if somebody says that they got doxed, they're like, oh, they're gonna dox someone, you're thinking they're probably gonna post like their address, their full name, you know, things and such like that, to where you could easily go find them, look them up, find out their personal info, yada yada. Within this, yo, Hasan, yeah, I don't think he showed any of that. He showed the bull page, in which was the wrong bull, as we know. I ain't gonna lie, because it was the wrong Apex crypto bull. But in the overall grand scheme, yeah, I wouldn't call it doxing, but I would still call Hasan an idiot, because no dox. But let's focus on the main thing. Whoa, calm down, Jamal. Don't pop the 9. Yeah, why are you pulling out a gun on stream to try to intimidate bulls and all that? Do you think this is good actions to be showing your audience, good rhetorics and John to be putting out? Because what if they think this stuff is acceptable? What if they think it's cool, koosh? What if they try it themselves? Who would that fall back on, Mr. Piker? Yeah, it's dumb. But yeah, overall, like, did the bull get like supremely doxxed? Like, nah, his addy or no John wasn't posted. But yeah, there was a whole lot of misconstruction on that.
Showing a public profile can be impermissible if you're doing it with the intent to intimidate or threaten. And that's what Hasan was doing. So while most people will not consider this doxing because it's public information, it is indeed criminal. And once again, even showing public information, if you do it with the intent, if you do it with the threatening nature, that's a problem.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that, because it's still like, again, like you're trying to incur violence and or like, you know what I'm saying, instill fear, like we were saying, into a person, which is obviously something you should do, because yo, big bad, not good in that boy. But again, like to the supreme levels of doxing, like did Hasan post this fool's address, his social security, or any junk like that? No, technically.
Right, that's definitely a problem. This prevents people from pulling up public pictures and, you know, saying whatever they want to say about it and being like, hey, go get this guy, right? Which essentially, if you think about it, right, with Hasan's large audience, him pulling up a photo and going in on a guy while he's holding a gun is sending a message to his audience that they need to go get this guy, that something needs to happen to this guy. Just saying. It's the intent. It's the intent that makes the difference. So the turning here is the state of mind. And what was the state of mind? And I think it's pretty clear. It wasn't a happy-go-lucky state of mind.
Yeah, because the Apex Crypto Bull, the actual bull that was like, you know what I'm saying the shit to Hasan, like you saying like, yo, Hasan should be hung, or fucking, what we saying, Mamdani should be hung and all that shit. Like, obviously that nigga, bro, that nigga should be X'd out, fucking banned, see that nigga later, all that shit. But within that, obviously, like that person saying these fucking chat messages to Hasan and all that, clearly it was on a hostile tip. So, yo, Hasan, when he pulled out the 9, you could clearly tell, obviously, it was on a more hostile tip too, because duh, like he's responding back to this, but like, what? Yo, we got the and then obviously did it to the wrong bull. But yeah, nah, there's no way you could say like Hasan wasn't trying to instill fear or like incite like, you know, fear and stuff like that, because like then what would be the point of pulling out the gun?
We'll say that. Also, this is something that people brought up, and this is a very good point. If it was an airsoft gun, because people were saying it's an airsoft gun. I don't believe it was an airsoft gun, but
I don't either. That's what I'm saying, because most airsoft guns have the orange cap. And even to that, again, we had discussed, and a lot of people are telling me too in the comments, like, yeah, there's some airsoft guns that's like damn near 1-to-1, like looking like real guns and shit like that. And that's possible. But even to that factor with Hasan's John, bro, again, no orange cap, and we can't really confirm. And then plus, again, if he whips out an airsoft gun, bro, I'm not threatened. You get shot with some BBs, that shit is gonna hurt a lot. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, but I don't think you're gonna die unless you get hit with like fucking crazy amount of fucking rounds with that shit. But like, yeah, obviously, I would think, at least in my opinion, that shit has to be real, because then, again, what's the point of pulling out the 9 if this John isn't even a real 9? Because then I'm not scared. Like, yeah.
let's pretend it was an airsoft gun. Then apparently modification is illegal under SB 199, which is California law. I did not know this. This is something I learned, right? Thank you, chat. Thank you, commenters. Thank you, people email me. Apparently, even if it was an airsoft gun, it was illegal to modify it in California, which, once again, Hasan should thank the great state of California, because pretty much, you know, many of these laws are only California laws, right? Or specific California laws, right? But California requires that orange tip. Let's continue here. So obviously there's more information and more defenses and stuff that was brought up. One thing I want to bring up real quick, and this is a good one.
Bro, they tried this, bro. The thing with Charlie, the whole thing with Charlie, at least they give my opinion on it, bro. The situation with Hasan and Charlie is not similar at all. Obviously, both of them pulled out guns, but I'm already spoiling it. Charlie, the reason he pulled out his John was to show Sneeko what an actual mag is. He wasn't trying to incite fear in Sneeko. He was giving him a little bit of education, because Sneeko's a moron and did not know the difference between clips and mags. But before this, whatever, the reason that Charlie even posted this was because Sneeko got up on this boy with his 9 and said, bar for bar, hey, yo, you want clips? Yo, watch my clips. This, that, and the third. Like, yo, pointing the gun at the camera and all that type of jazz. Like, you could clearly see he was trying to do with some John, incite some fear into Charlie. But, to be frank with you, I don't think he was scared. But yeah, so that comparison, trying to compare like what Charlie did to Hasan, that shit, it's not the same.
Because some people brought this incident up. If you don't know, this is obviously more critical here.
Charlie,
and he has he had an incident. He had an incident with Sneeko.
Mm-hmm.
I had the video pulled up, but I pulled it down and closed it at some point. But if you remember, Sneeko threatened him,
mm-hmm.
and Sneeko was talking about clips. He's like, "Oh, look at these clips.
Yo, watch my clips."
So what Most Critical did was, he
said, "Hey, Sneeko, you're a dumbass. Yo, this is a clip, bro, and this is what a mag is, nigga. Educate yourself."
True Florida man fashion, much like myself, said, "You idiot. These are not clips. They're are mags. This is a magazine." Right? And he showed him that, and he educated him on that.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. This some big ass education, boy. This a big ass lesson. I'm not gonna lie.
He was doing an educational,
I fucking love Charlie, dude.
Educational demonstration using a weapon for reference. There was no threat.
Exactly, and that's the point I was making earlier. There was in no way was Charlie trying to threaten Sneeko, saying, "Yo, fuck it, bro. I'm gonna shoot you with this gun, bro. I got this, John, bro. Watch this." No, he's literally saying, "Hey, man, Hey man, you need to look up Webster's Merriam, bro. Learn the definitions of these Johns, bro. It's a magazine, not a clip. Lock in.
There. So when people say, what about Penguin Zero? What about Moist Critical? No. He didn't threaten them. He just showed that Sneeko was an idiot and didn't know what he was talking about, right? And educated him on, gun terminology. That's not a threat, right?
He didn't make a direct threat, but I will be the guy to let y'all know. We know the reason Charlie really pulled that boy out. It was basically like, okay, yeah, you got a gun? Yeah, I do too. But again, he didn't say no John to where it's a threat, like fucking Hasan dumbass trying to do this shit. Yeah, like or literally Sneeko himself.
Anybody who brought that up is what about this guy? And by the way, I love the what about isms. It's great. There was no threat there. If you find education threatening, that's your problem, right? And maybe that's Hasan's problem too. Hasan finds my education threatening to him.
He finds any education threatening because he's a moron.
And I'm sorry, Hasan. I'm just trying to help you learn and grow. I'm trying to teach you big words like vexatious litigant.
Yo, Legal Mindset, he really trolling him, bro. I know for sure Legal Mindset had to see that H3 episode, bro. I know for sure he did, bro. Like vexatious litigant. Yeah, man, Ethan's just throwing out these frivolous lawsuits. Oh my god. Well, calm down, Hasan. You're learning the words too fast.
The word you don't know how to use? Yeah, we're gonna teach you big words, Hasan. You can be a big boy.
Yo, now go to another board. Now that one right there, bad man, was a violation. He said you're finally gonna use the big boy words. Nah, bro, Hasan, bro, you're so cooked.
Learn how to speak English properly. So let's talk about Hasan. Okay.
Trash Taste.
So
Yes,
in case
please
you don't
talk
know,
about Trash Taste.
This is Hasan with his friends on Trash Taste. So he visited Japan as a tourist, right? Mm-hmm. And he talked about moving to Japan. But one thing is that Hasan, unlike many other people, and this is a little educational immigration law and moving to other countries, particularly moving to Asia segment here, is that Hasan has no ability to be a long-term resident elsewhere. His buddy Connor, Sea-Dog VA, he's a long-term resident of Japan. He's an expatriate. He works for an agency, so he has a long-term work visa. He had to go through a criminal background check. He had to go through lots of other vetting by Japan. So he's good, and Japan wants him here long-term. Then we have our buddy Ramsey Khalid Ismail. So
Ram Bob No Pants?
Ramsey Khalid Ismail came in as a tourist to Japan. He did not have a long-term visa.
Yeah, no, he didn't have a long-term visa. He didn't have a work visa. He didn't have shit.
He just had a tourist exemption. And he came in under this tourist exemption, no background check, no criminal background check, unlike Sea Dog, because long-term residents have to have this. He came in and became a tourist that became a criminal. So he was arrested. He was officially a criminal in Japan.
7 charges.
He's banned from the country for 5.
Oh, in Japan. Okay, no, he got the 7 charges in South Korea, but he did in Japan. He went to jail. He was in solitary confinement for 4 months.
5 years. Now Hasan is not yet a criminal, but he's only a tourist, and he will always be a tourist because of 2 things. First of all, his association with questionable individuals.
But yeah, Hasanabe said the Department of Homeland Security revoked his global entry. Oh yeah, I remember this. So yeah, he doesn't get basically like priority anymore.
So he had his global entry revoked. So you have to clear a pretty extensive background check to get global entry. Global entry. That's an expedited entry whenever you enter the country.
Yep, see, yeah, basically like priority. So like, you know how like you go to the theme parks and shit and there's a fast lane if you pay for the fast pass or whatever the fuck? Yeah, it's like that, but obviously like for travel.
After traveling abroad. But beyond that, the one real reason why he could never make it abroad and why Hasan will have to stay in California for the rest of his days is because Japanese defamation, you would never be able to move to Japan. Because in Japan, defamation is both criminal and civil. And
Yo, Hasan defames for fun. Oh yeah, so this shit is really X'd out.
under Article 230, it prohibits publicly defaming another person by alleging facts. So all of this streaming that Hasan does, he nonstop defames people. And
Yep. Approved.
there's no defense for that that's going to work for him. Because in order to defend yourself in Japan, you have to allege true facts in the public interest for the public benefit. So, for example, that would be covering like a criminal case or covering like big news. But you do not have a right to call somebody names without a reasonable basis for that. So Hasan will never be able to live anywhere in Asia, much less Japan.
And that's how it be. Stamped in for show, but you already know. Shout out, of course, Uncle Mindset, Legal Mindset. You already know how that gets down, Gainesville. We got legal troubles for Hasan and his orbiters. And of course, if you guys would like to watch the OG video, go share the love with Legal Mindset. Down in the description, first link, share the love, of course, like I said, with Legal Mindset, Uncle Mindset. The lawyer on the case, no cap. But yo, you already know how we get down. Final opinions and conjecture. I'm so glad they're cooked. They're cooked. We already knew that for Denim's Casey trying for and I'm sure like that's not even, but Hasan, nah. You're gonna have to calm down there, Jamal. No more pulling out the 9. Yeah, it's cooked, bro. It's cooked. Hasan, he never gonna stop. He never gonna stop his rhetoric. He definitely never gonna change up his political ideologies. He's literally just cooked forever on that because audience captured. And I ain't gonna lie, just idiot. And then obviously the whole jump of him defaming people, and then he wants to go over to like other countries like Japan. Yeah, it's not gonna work because yo, I hate to tell you this, bruv, but yo, some of these East Asian countries, shoot, South Korea, bro, they be having like 98% conviction rates, and they don't be playing about the crimes over there, gang. So yeah, man, if he go over there, start getting mixy, start saying Jones about people that is not true, spreading misinformation and or defaming people, ooh, it would not look good for Mr. Piker. But let's be real here. That motherfucker is never leaving LA. Bro, niggas like him, addicted to clout, being glazed, fucking validation, gratification. What I say all the time, bro. That nigga's never leaving LA ever, bro. His $3 million mansion? Yeah, I gotta get real. But other than that, y'all already know what it is. Had to get the little gel such aside, you know what I'm saying? Sure, the little legal mindset once more. And I'm finna catch y'all on the flip, baby. Peace.